Good afternoon. I am Sandy Roumagoux, and this is my show at the Blackfish Gallery in Portland, Oregon, for the month of May. It is a show of paintings that I am calling Thresholds. That's the title of the show. The subject matter, I'm a figurative painter, is of the landscape around where I live in Newport, Oregon, on the coast, and it is of images that I see while traveling around that area, and have stopped to think about or look at certain images in the landscape that really do grab me, and that's my criteria. If I really like the image or what I'm seeing, that is how I began a painting. These paintings are all the same size. There are 14, and I decided to use a 4 by 5 foot or 48 by 60 inch canvas for each painting. I started with a painting of a barn, and the barn is located in a eastern part of Lincoln County called Kings Valley. And these old barns left in the Willamette Valley that are sort of disintegrating into the ground as the years go by, there are enough fragments and remnants left of them that they just draw me as subject matter because of my childhood of being raised on a farm. So I know these old barns and what they're like to go into. And I thought, well, with Thresholds, with this particular painting, it's a perfect way of thinking about what threshold means, which is a particular time that you either go or not go, advance or retreat. But it is at that time that you make that decision. And I thought, what a great way to illustrate that for me and what I was thinking about. And then also in composing this barn, how to use black, this dark, dark black, to read both as space, but yet not having that infinite space where you feel like you're falling off the edge of the earth. And so I used what was the light that was coming in from the rafters part of this old barn to keep the eye or the viewer within this dark space that was inside the barn. And I got really excited about that because black is a really hard color to work with in painting so that it isn't one dead when you put a large area of it up, or as I said, doesn't describe space where you fall out of it forever. And also is interesting as a dark to describe, and then again putting it directly in the center of the painting. We can move on to others in the series that are of this barn too. This painting of the barn is if the viewer were standing farther back. The first painting is of the close-up, as you can see, of just this part of the barn. When I painted this painting first, and then as I was thinking about it, I thought, wow, I would like to do close-up to take advantage of this, because I became pretty excited about it. Again, how this dark was working. I particularly like what was happening here with this shape of the dark. It reads abstractly and at the same time describes a Renaissance space. This painting, again, within this series, they're all 4 by 5 feet, is of a clear cut out by Logston, which is another small area east of Newport. I am upset. I mean, when I look at clear cut of the Coast Range, I have a visceral reaction. I have to admit I have a hard time dealing with this particular method of taking care of our forests. So when I see these so blatantly done, I have to paint them. I have painted several clear cuts in my life as a painter, and this one had just been done, and I couldn't resist on the road of putting in the stop sign. And the name of the painting is Stop Sign, sort of a nice way of wishing I had the power to stop it. But the shape, again, just as an abstract shape, defining that area that is clear cut from a compositional point of view is quite nice. So I enjoyed working with that shape. I didn't need to have them clear cut some land to get that shape. I could have found it another way, but since it was there, I decided. After I painted this one, I then decided to do more of a close-up and hiked into where I could get closer, thinking that I would see more definition of the clear cut, but I didn't. This is really the feeling that I had when I got close enough to really look at it. And it is just as jumbled and put together and layered. And I thought, if they took any logs off, I wonder, they must have just skimmed the very top, because they certainly left feet and feet of refuge from the trees and the logging process. This painting is called Moonshine Park, and that is a county park in Lincoln County that is beautiful. And during the spring, this waterfall from all of the rain runs and dries up by about the 1st of August. And the way the rocks are formed, the way the foliage comes down, I really did like it. I mean, I just like the whole idea of that waterfall. And I've spent 2 or 3 years going out at the time of year when it's in full rushing faucet type gushing, as they say. And this year was the best because of all of the rain that we had. So I've done others in about this size, but further away from the viewer. This is close up. On this painting, I call it Trestle, and if anyone has traveled on the old road between Toledo and Newport along the Yaquina River, you will see these remnants of the train trestle that are kind of rotting. And I drive this road a lot, and when I saw the tide, the way it was reflecting with the water and these trestles, I had to stop the car and sketch and take this idea back to the studio. I like this painting for me because yellow is a really hard color to use. In all my years of painting, I'm never quite sure what to do with it. But I decided to use it to play off the complementary blues to lavenders. And I think it works well. I'm quite pleased with this painting. And then this is the largest. It's just a little bit larger than the 4 by 5 feet. And this is of the South Jetty, right there by the Aquina Bridge at minus tide. And these mudflats show, and the rocks show. And it was a cloudy, kind of stormy day. And I feel quite pleased with how the light shows on this. Even though it's dark and gray many days on the coast, you'll see this odd light where the sun is trying to come through, and it gives this silver shininess to the cloud cover with dark clouds over. This is tons of paint. I'm a lover of using paint, and of course in a gestural way. So I'm loading the brush and drawing and painting almost in the same time. And I believe that that works. I believe the drawing, the paint, the landscape is believable, but at the same time is quite abstract.